Hello, everybody. My name is Gregg-Ham. This is the first live stream that we have of the Musicians of Today podcast. So if we have a little pauses here and there, it might be some tech issues. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the intro. Here we go. What happens when you take discipline of a classical conservatory and drop it right in the middle of a Houston trap beat? You get today's guest. He's the man who proved that violin doesn't just belong in a concert hall. It belongs in a stadium or on the block or at the table of your playlist. From his viral trap Symphonies hit to perform at the NBA Rising Stars and the Super Bowl, he's redefining what it means to be a classical musician. Please welcome the founder of the Hood Orchestra and the king of the strings, Michael Prince.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing excellent. I'm glad to be here. For the be
that is
amazing.
Woke up to see another day.
Yes, sir.
So, Michael, I did a little back searching on Google. So you started drums at 3, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you pick up the violin at 5, right?
Yes, sir.
What made you want to switch to the violin from the drums?
Great question. My sister, shout out my sister, she's 2 years older than me. She actually chose the cello. So up until then, all I saw was like drums, piano, guitar, or singing as the options. But once she chose the cello, I was kind of like, okay, that's a different type of instrument, the strings, all of that. So it's like, I was kind of interested. But then it's like, there was no real like reason for me like choosing it. But it's like, I just switched. It was kind of like, we thought I was going to do the drums. And then it's like,
life chose a different path.
Right, opposite path.
Do you feel like you're a traitor to the rhythm side?
No, because rhythm is everything. Honestly, like I have a lot more rhythm than some people on the rhythm side because it's like, for me, I started with the drums. So like the first musical component I learned was the rhythm. So it's like,
yes,
having the coordination of a left hand and a right hand together kind of like gave me the foundation needed to like coordinate all my left fingers with my right fingers with the violin. And then it's like on top of that, just being able to hear and feel the rhythm, it's like that. A lot of people can play anything, but it's like you put on a metronome and it's like they're not with the metronome.
Yeah. See, like I started with the violin and now I'm doing percussion at the same time. So it's a big thing, and then learning how to equal the hands out. It's a difference. It's a different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
How did growing up in Houston third wards shape the introverted adventure we see on stage today?
It has to do with everything, like my roots, and even the reason why I'm here playing the violin, making music is because of like where I come from. And here in Third Ward, like it's crazy, like throughout my growing up process, I'm realizing like, wow, there's not neighborhoods out there where it's like all black, like a majority black neighborhood. So like I see black people, but it's like they're thriving and not just like starving. There's sections in Third World where there is that happening, but it's like you really see a range of like excellence and like poverty, but in the middle of all of it is like culture, and that's like the center of like what we do and just how we move. I think like growing up in a big city like Houston, like you always had to watch your back and like all this stuff. But it's like in ward, it's a little bit, heightened just because of, the connotation of it being in the inner city. And also there's a lot of like clubs and all that. It's like a lot of people come to the neighborhood to party now. And it's like it kind of brings a negative connotation versus like the culture and the rich history of like why third ward is even here.
Yeah. You said finesse was a high school motto before
Mhm.
it was a hit. How do you finesse a classical instrument into a rap culture that didn't always have a seat for it?
Mm, I think with finesse, um, that it's crazy. That's exactly. It wasn't really. I didn't really have to finesse it because it was so natural. Like you said it, like finesse was our high school motto. So it's like
Hmm.
me from high school. It's like my mind and my motto is like, okay, whatever it. I think I said one time it's like I was given like a monologue and I was like to finesse or to not finesse, like that is the question. And it's like at the end of it I came to the conclusion that we need to finesse in our faith, finesse in our friends, finesse in our family. And then I think I was like talking about like business and life and stuff, but it's like it's really just the mindset of just like not thinking it of it as like a finesse as in like, oh, I'm finessing somebody, but it's like finesse as in I'm excelling. And so our basketball chant, we made a basketball team at a school that didn't have any sports at all. It was all, you know, music, performing arts high school, and it's like we made a basketball team, and that was our motto. We were like 1, 2, 3, finesse on three, finesse, and it's like that would give us like it was like go get it, finesse, and it's like that was also the title of my senior recital uh, in high school. So it was called Finesse. That album cover of the song Finesse is my senior recital poster, just a screenshot of it. But it's like I was I was thinking of outside the box things before I even like got to college. So it's like once I got to college, it's like I saw the curriculum and it's like I was good at, doing the curriculum and learning and studying, but it's like I always wanted to like go the extra mile of like figuring out how to make different things shake. And finesse was really like us one day in the studio being like, hey, what if we just, record something original? And then it's like a few months later, I was like, why don't we just drop it? And then it's like even more months after that, it's like, oh, this is going viral. And then it's like, it went really, really viral. And then it's like, wow. And it's like you look back at it and it's like there's no way we could have planned and plotted out this happening. But it's like when we look back, it was already planned and plotted.
Yes. So why is it so important for the Hood Orchestra that it launched when it launched? What was the whole purpose about launching the Hood Orchestra?
I really just wanted to teach. Like the original vision and like down to the core was like I want to be able to teach across the world. I want to just be able to go and teach violin the way that I would have liked to be taught violin while still retaining those like fundamentals and principles from the good violin teaching that I have. So basically like culminating all my knowledge plus like me, exploring and stuff and then just start teaching. And it's like I just, got a couple, inquiries at first. It was one video of me teaching that went just viral, and it's like everyone at that point they had assumed that I was a teacher at one school and I only taught at one school. So it's like they were like, okay, can you come leave that school teaching one day to come teach at this school? But then it's like I started teaching at other schools and they're like, wait, you do teach, and then it's like the inquiry started rolling in, and it's like it just created a different feeling for me than just performing. It's like I performed on all types of stages, but there's a difference when you can like actually finish performing or leave somewhere and be like, wow, I probably impacted somebody that
Yeah.
has not had much impact on their life yet. So this impact is cherished, and like teachers, like they really like help people's children grow more than the people who's like their actual parents do. So it's like it's such an important role and responsibility. And so it's like it just that's another thing that just came together naturally. It was just me, you know.
So like education was is like a big thing for you.
Oh
Education.
yeah, music education. I was music education for 2 years in college, University of Oklahoma. That was my original path because it's like I love teaching. And my I think sophomore year we got to student teach, and it's like I was teaching an ensemble. Basically, I would go back and forth each week. Norman North High School in Norman, Oklahoma, and it was like I had such a great time teaching. However, I was like, I would love to figure out ways to like take this thing that is a lesson plan, because it's like before I taught, every time I had to make a lesson plan and be like, this is what I'm going to say, this is how long it's going to last, and it's like it was really planned, and I'm like, I learn better when it's like we're just doing stuff and exploring or doing
Yeah.
the or the video makings, content creation. So it's like I wanted to kind of figure out how to like what other opportunities there were to teach in the way that I envisioned teaching, because at that point it didn't really seem that like that was what I wanted to do. So I switched my major to violin performance for my final 2 years with the intention to go get a master's degree at University of North Texas for jazz violin because I was passionate about that. And then I was gonna go get a doctorate level somewhere, probably like New York. And it's like I was like, if I reach that point, then I'll be like a superhero and I'll be able to teach wherever, and I'll just be like, here's my doctorate. But
Yeah.
the touring life happened.
Yeah. So you like the idea of still like performing on stage, but also going to schools and also teaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when people hear the violin, but they feel the '80s, right? What what was that? Sorry. So when people hear the violin, but they hear the '80s music of like, let's say Michael Jackson, right?
Mhm.
What? How do you want to shape those people when they hear that? Like, what is the what do you want them to think when they're listening to your playing?
I want them to envision what I'm envisioning or experiencing when I'm in the period of time in my life that I'm releasing the music. Because for my music, it's like, it's very much like, this is life. This is what's happening. Like, I'll create a song based off of something in my life. And like, if you look at my whole discography and catalog, it goes from like when I started making music first, where it was like my first song is called Better Place, and it's like I'm a little kid and it's like the world needs to be a better place, like me just singing about stuff going on. But like from that period of time to now, like my newest albums, it's like they're like I'm a whole different person. And it's like they're based off of like praying for peace is based off of like having a couple family members pass suddenly, the war going on, some things going on the internet. Like a lot of stuff is packed into that one album versus where I was as a kid was just like, oh yeah, y'all need to stop, feed the animals. Don't let the animals starve. That's what I was talking about then. And it's like now it's like these are whole like storylines. Like the album has each connecting song, and it's like each song is like has a meaning behind it, and it's like people just hear the music, but then they don't hear the story behind. Yeah, and it's even harder where when it's music where there's no words, because it's like it's hard for
Yeah.
you to visualize, and it's also hard for you to it's hard for you to understand if it's being received well, because they can't always verbally like talk back to you or even know what you're playing.
Yeah, like let's say I'm playing a violin concerto. Let's say Sabella's violin concerto, right?
Mhm.
Um, you see the feeling, but you don't know. You wouldn't know the story behind it because you're not hearing the story behind it.
Yeah.
So, what I mean, like communication, literally communication,
Mhm.
and that sometimes messes people up where they're like, "Oh no, I don't want to listen
Right.
because I'm not understanding what's going on."
An example of this I have is what I told you about why I chose Shostakovich's Fifth Symphony, and it's
Hmm.
in the third movement. And this was the moment that really like changed my perspective on like how I saw music. And me and my friend were in the back of the second violin section in rehearsal one time, and it's like it's the third movement, and it's the part where it's like dun 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 dun, and all the violins are like, and then the cellos are about to have their little moment, but it's like in rehearsal we would always like play around with the tremolos and just do it like outlandishly, and make a big spectacle out of it, and it's like my my teacher one time he called us out and he was like, if y'all are gonna do it like that now, then y'all have to do it like that during the concert. And it's like we weren't gonna do it like that in the concert just because it's that in us. But it's like after that day I went and I researched the song and the Shostakovich and why he wrote it, and specifically that section. And it's like it was about the grief of his family getting like murdered by an oppressive regime. And I was like, oh wow! So what we thought was like fun are really tears. Like these are tears streaming, and like the cello's like
Yes.
ripping the heart out. And I'm like, wow! Like that changes the whole perspective of just knowing the backstory behind it. So it's like that's why that's kind of changed the way I viewed music as something that is like just enjoyable to something like from the artist's perspective. Like this is really our palette to tell our story.
Yes. This is instead of speaking words, we use the the language that mostly only us can understand, but everybody can understand the language. It's just that to grasp the language is a hard concept. That's what it is. Do you prefer do you prefer the electric or acoustic violin?
Definitely acoustic whenever available, whenever possible. This is Tigress. I prefer Tigress. This is my acoustic instrument because it's like Kung Fu Panda. Tigress is fierce but beautiful at the same time. But
Mm-hmm.
but I'd say if you get in venues above 100 to 200, if you don't have a state of the art sound system and sound team, then it's like playing an acoustic is difficult. Especially
Yeah.
like with me, a lot of my music has bass, so it's like I want the music and the tracks to be up super high with the bass where you can feel it. And that doesn't really work with a violin that has like acoustic, and it's like it's just vibrating through the instrument. It's a lot of
Yeah.
feedback. So it's like it really takes the perfect like scenario and situation and speaker placement to make sure that it doesn't feed back. But it's like, for an example, my Glasser instruments, Glasser NY, like those instruments, carbon fiber, that's what I used a lot on the T-Pain tour, because it's like it
Okay.
had a volume knob, the tone wasn't too scratchy, because a lot of times electric violins, they sound too electric and it doesn't sound natural
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really
No.
like the sound, but it's like, yeah, if I can bring my acoustic. It's like nowadays I've realized like you can ask for what you want when you are going to venues. It's like if you're a performer, it's okay to be like, look, I want to sound like I want to sound like, because it's like a lot of times that changes the whole experience. If you get there and it's like the sound sounds bad and it's like these are songs you worked on for years and you worked,
I don't even want to play them anymore.
yeah, months to make it happen just for you to get there, and it's like, wow, what is this? Yeah.
What's the point of performing at this venue if I can't perform it how I want to perform
Yeah.
it?
We were actually just discussing, we're talking about our hood orchestra tour coming up. And it's like
Hmm.
one thing we have to weigh is the cost benefit of bringing in our own sound system and just like, okay, let's just invest in one sound system that we use for all these different spaces. Cause it's like, with tour, you can't really go and visit a lot of these venues beforehand when you're booking. So it's like you're based off of, okay, let's hope the sound sounds good. When it's like we could just invest in having that with us on the road and just like having a preset for what we know it's gonna sound like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So would you rather play like sorry, I mean so when you're playing, what's the most staying that you worry about the most? Or what not me worry about, what's the most important thing to you?
Mm. What I'm playing?
Hmm.
Mm. It's crazy. Everything and nothing at the same time. Like,
Yes.
because it's like I've reached a point now where it's like there's so many things that I worry about outside of my playing that like
Yeah.
really overrule the actual playing. Like by the time it like at the end of the day, I'm playing music that I wrote and improvising the music that I wrote that no one knows unless they, actually like listen to the song. Like a lot of times they don't know that I'm playing it incorrectly or correctly or not. So it's like it's not really stressing out about that. It's more so like the, oh my god, what if I like slip and trip and end up, on the shade room for slipping and tripping, or like what if the event gets canceled? Like
Yeah.
we've had like the last couple of hood orchestra events that we've done in Houston. It's rained to the point where it was almost a flood. Well, we had one that did get flooded. So like the whole parking lot to get out was flooded, and we thought we were gonna be stuck there overnight and all this stuff. And it's like we had another one. The power went out at the last song, and then
Oh,
had to get everybody out so they could get out before it flooded. So it's like it's so much to get stressed about and get anxious about, especially when you're the one of planning events. Like
yes.
it's different just showing up and playing. That's a perfect scenario and situation.
That's easy. That's
Yeah,
easy. I'll just walk up and just play. But
I
it's
see
the
that,
it's the
though.
the planning is the like me. We're planning something at my school now, and it is a lot to plan when and then you have to go like do it. So it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff with editing and just doing all this stuff to make sure everything goes perfectly.
Yeah.
Because everything can go wrong. There's a
Or
possibility for anything.
getting people to show up too. Like that's a
That's,
difficult.
that's yes. Trying to advertise right. Just trying to advertise a video is hard.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a quick question here. Let's say if Queen Beyonce is calling right now, right, for a country trap violin remix, how fast are you hanging up on me right now to answer that phone?
You put me in a predicament here. with all the respect to Beyonce, because she is from Third Ward. She is from Third Ward. She's from around the corner.
Yeah.
But it's like one thing I did learn, like through working in the music industry, it's like when opportunities come, and especially big opportunities, it's like
Yes.
I gotta stop, collect my thoughts, breathe, finish what I'm doing. Like this would be important because this is what I started, and I'd like to, carry it through. But then it's like I stop, assess, reflect, and then it's like I make a decision, and that decision is based off of like for me now my decisions are affect like the whole brand and like everybody around me and like yeah, so it's like I'm much slower than I was before to just like accept opportunities because it's like
Yeah.
there's you saying that and it's like that alone gets a lot of people, but then it could be like, okay, well, what if this you plan on this album and you're not getting no credit to play the violin and have no name on it, no face on it, then it's like, oh well, you get, I don't know. The
No
credit,
pay.
the
No
credit,
pay. No pay.
it's
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah, it's a lot of factors to think about when it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like for me, I've always been like Beyonce is a dream collaborator and a goal of a person to work with. I've had the
Yes.
opportunity before and gotten a call, and it's like it didn't align with my schedule. It's like I couldn't really
Yes.
make, yeah, I had something scheduled. It couldn't, the conflict. So it's like the opportunity was there, and it was the big opportunity that I felt that I was working so hard for all my life. But it's like at the end of the day, if things don't align for me, then it's like it's gonna be hard for me to even like bring forth the creativity to make it happen. Like for example, ASAP Rocky, when he
Yeah.
had called me to be on his album, I was at a church retreat. I was at it was probably like day two, day three, and I was in Florida at a church retreat, and I had no idea how I was gonna get home back to Houston. I was still figuring that out after the church, whether I was gonna like ride the bus back with them home. And then it's like I got the call from that, and it's like they were gonna fly me to and fro from New York. So it's basically like that was my flight home, and it's
Yeah.
like he flew me out there. I get out there, and it's like I thought that I was gonna just be meeting with some manager or person. It's like I checked into the hotel that they had me at, and then it's like I walked over to the studio, and it's like I was just standing outside. I'm like, okay, I hope I'm at the right place. And then it's like the car pulled up. ASAP Rocky hopped out. He like dapped me up. And he was like, all right, y'all trying to go in the studio? I walked into the studio, walked upstairs. John Baptiste was around the corner, just reading a book, just
Ooh.
like hello. And then it's like we go up in the room, and it's like he starts playing the track for the studio. It's like that's the ideal situation that I want to work with when I
Yeah.
collaborate with someone. It was supernatural. Like we just, it was
And
just,
like you knew each other.
yeah. It was no politics and all the, yeah. It wasn't all that extraness going on. And it's like
It was,
also my friend Caleb. Have you heard of Caleb Echo Sax, the saxophone?
yeah, I think I heard of him.
Yeah, it's like he was also there. And it's like I went with him to college. So it's like we were in college, I played with the jazz band like one time. It's like we had collaborated before, and it's like we ended up in the same place on the same call for the same album for the same songs. And it's like that
Yes.
was alignment. And that was like God putting it together versus like me just like forcing it or me like spamming somebody
Yes.
being less work, less work. It was like it just happened so naturally.
Because all opportunities are not always good because they might sound very good. Like I was talking to Robin Faye Massey on the podcast, and she said that she always wanted to perform with the Honolulu Symphony Orchestra, and she got the call to come do it, but she was like she couldn't take it because of the stuff that she had to do back home to.
Right.
So it's They might seem all great, but in the end, is it going to work out for you? That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. How is it going to help you in the long run?
Yeah, it's a marathon too. Like we got to think about
Yeah.
like opportunities will always be here.
So, what is one? Okay, you have 5 seconds to answer this. What is one song you refuse to play at a wedding for 10K, even if they pay you 10K dollars to perform that song? What is that song that you refuse to do?
Mm, mm,
Is it Canon and D? Isn't it?
mm. I don't know. Here's see, you said weddings. That threw me off. Like events, but weddings specifically. Here's my thing with weddings, and here's also my thing about refusing to play things. It's like
Okay.
I feel like I'm trying to cultivate a brand where it's like if they're hiring me for their wedding, it's because they want to hear my music played at their wedding. So it's like
Yes.
they can request, for example, like my song "Yup." That's a pretty,
Mm-hmm.
that seems like a very good song. Vibe it even. That's a little, angelic or whatever. But it's like I don't necessarily enjoy playing other people's songs in general just because it's like it's a lot for me to have to practice. It's a lot for me to have to like, oh, this is a song that I might play one time, but I have to play it perfectly. And if I don't play it perfectly, then there's a risk of me not getting paid and paying my
Yeah.
bills. I'm like, I'm not Spotify. They could go play that on Spotify if they want it correctly, or like they could pay for me to make an arrangement before and I can fake play it. But it's like my brand is like for my concerts, a lot of them I don't have a plan. For my master classes, I don't have a plan. It's like
And
I improvise. That is my special.
that's one of my favorite things is like just dot planning. And a lot of people says that's not good, but it's when you're like this. I didn't plan any of it. I have like I have two questions over here. Two questions, and and most of the time I just go with the flow to see just what happens because that's improv is like I find improv is like one of the best things to do. Um,
Yeah.
it's very fun too, very enjoyable.
And I got this from Russell. He was the first person I saw like doing this, but it's like at my concerts, I allow the audience sometimes to ask questions about like how they're feeling or what they're thinking about the concert or even like what I'm
Crowd
playing. And
work.
it's like, yeah, and it's like that softens people up and brings them down to like, okay, this is a human experience versus like I'm just playing the violin at you. Like they'll ask like simple questions, but those simple questions are questions that everybody asks and everybody has, but it's like they just don't know.
Like when you interact with the crowd, and that's why I think when people see like people hear the violin, they're like, oh, sitting down in a concert hall just watching people play, and they say it's boring, right? But there's also different settings that like different. It depends. It really depends on the setting that the violin is played in. That if people like it or not. Because I heard a lot of like if you're interacting with the crowd a lot, people are gonna like it more than
Yeah,
if you're just there, just sitting there and playing, and
that's
that's fun too. Don't get me wrong, but when you're interacting with the crowd, it makes the crowd more engaged and more, and they might even pay more money for it.
yeah. And that's another thing too that I want that it's like I'm also like I'm just like I don't know, I'm like a little I've always been a little rebellious, anti whatever the status quo is, but it's like I don't want to have to do more in order to get people to respect the playing more when I could just
Yes,
put it into the music. It's like I put all these hours and all this life into this music And it's like if I play it, I don't necessarily have to have everyone going crazy, but it's like I'm not gonna go crazy in order to make y'all think that I'm going crazy when it's like I'm already going crazy. It's like y'all gonna hear the
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Pretty
It's
up for
like Beethoven or something. It's
if
like,
you're doing all that.
yeah, it's like I don't know if Beethoven's like pictured people just sitting still and just listening to his music when he made it. It's like
So,
it's so yeah.
I actually looked into that because I was like, no way that he intended that. No, like most of the classical composers did not intend that. They did not want people just to sit down and just listen. They wanted people to, because back then they didn't have seats, right? When they were performing, they were standing up. Some was hype, some was like dancing around,
Yeah,
some was
right.
crying. They didn't attend for, and I don't, and no disrespect to all the performers out there. And I think there are some good points about sitting down and just watching people perform. That's good for sometimes, but I think there should also be different venues, more venues
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
like clubs, that is one thing to have like a violin at a club. And you really don't think when you hear violin, you don't think of a violinist at a club, right? So when you see a violinist at a club, you're like, oh my God, that's cool. So
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's funny. I used to play at a club. That's like kind of where I did a lot of gigs, and it's like at first I wanted to just play to myself, but then I'm like, these people are here to turn up. It's a Friday or a Saturday,
yeah.
and I think a dude even told me he was like, bro, stop playing these love songs and turn us up, man. And it's like I turned on Trap in C minor, and it's like I walked over to a table and I started playing, and it's like they were going crazy, and then it's like
Yes.
posting the clip viral on TikTok, and it's like that's cool, but it's like
Yeah.
I'm also trying to have my chill, intimate moments. So it's like I'm trying to
Yes.
offer a variety for people to like not necessarily know what to expect, but in any circumstance, I want them to feel comfortable enough to like stand up and scream and shout if they feel like doing that, and not like having to be
Say play
silent.
ball a couple times.
Yeah,
Just scream at me while I'm performing on stage. I don't
that's
care less as long as you're having fun.
yeah. That's why I do the
As long
crash a lot. I do the crash out a lot at concerts just because it's like people will just be like too cool to like smile or laugh or have a good time, and I'm like, y'all, this is the place where y'all need to let those emotions out. So y'all, y'all go
yeah,
home and be okay. And it's like the crash show is like a lot of people. It's like they come out of their corporate selves. I feel like it's like we all have these
yeah.
corporate selves and business professional selves, and it's like that just makes people just
You
like,
just
bro.
take it all off and just let loose.
Yep,
Now, if you ran out of rosin
got it,
and
bro.
you're right about to go on stage and you need that rosin, what will be the best thing to use? Glue, honey, a gummy bear, or would you just pray?
I would honestly just pray because I've gone on the stage a lot of times without rosin during that T
Well,
Pain tour.
like you got a new bow. You got a totally
Oh,
new bow,
no
no
rosin,
rosin on it,
man.
and
I still play. I still play
you,
because all those other things are probably going to make it worse. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, just play. I mean,
I've
just pray.
gone without rosin though. It's like it just sounds a little different, but people don't know the difference.
If Mozart heard your music, what would you think he'd say?
Mm. Wasn't Mozart black?
Well, I think
If Mozart was black, he say, "Well done, my brother." That's what he would say. Uh, but if he, I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I don't. I haven't. See, the thing with me is like, I'm like here of where I want to be musically, and it's like I have so much farther to go because it's like I've never been like the top of the section there, the excellence or whatever. So it's like I'm over here like I'm just playing like arpeggios and scales, nothing like too crazy. But it's like I feel
Yeah.
like once I expand and start like notating and even just like being able to transcribe and people to see the music and be like, okay, this is how it's significant. Y'all just hear it, but it's like once people see it, that's when they really start like, okay, we're respecting this, and we see the harmonies and how you're trying to like build ensembles and all that stuff. It's like we just don't have access to like giant symphonies and orchestras yet, but it's like the vision is there. When I record on Logic, it's like I'm playing the violin myself like 20 to 30 times anyway, so it's just a matter of time.
And if y'all ever perform that one, just invite me. I'll come, I'll
Yeah.
come hype up the crowd. I'll come hype up. Hey, I'll start screaming and tell everybody to scream.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
crazy because once it's like there's a moment in a concert where it's like the crowd is just like, huh. It's like everyone comes in with tension and everything that they brought in from the outside world. And it's like I'm too cool for school, and I'm gonna stand to the side. I'm just gonna get a drink to loosen up. But it's like
Yeah.
when something happens where it's like everyone all laughs or everyone cries, it's like the song I'm floating chat, that's about like me witnessing someone undergoing cardiac arrest like in the middle of the airport just like randomly for like 30 minutes fighting for their life. It's like I told people about it, and it's like I got all it's like was all solemn, but then it's like I played it, and it's like the whole time it's just like I could see people processing it like dang, like thinking that if they had ever lost someone. And it's like at the end of the song it's like the claps were like super silent because everyone was like, "Wow!" But then it's like I brought the
Like
energy
what?
back to good music, and it's like by the end, people were clapping. It's like moving. Yeah,
And then what if you just like, let's say you were doing that. Let's say you were playing that slap that sad, and then you turn it up and you just went, you know,
right.
it
Exactly.
would it would really change. It really makes people think and
It's so
change the
much
emotion
more.
real fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love when you kind of like play with people's emotions a bit, like when you're performing and you just like try to so you get real emotional, like, and then you just bring it back up and then just just let it loose, and
yeah.
then
You got
it's
to.
it's something about that just brings out the joy and the happiness and the real of music, the real purpose of music, and the real language of what music is. Because when you get into it, then everybody understands it.
Yeah, and also too, it's like most of my songs are like one or two chords that just go back and forth and back and forth, and it's like I learned that the average person's musical literacy is not the level of ours as people that actually play instruments, and much less an instrument as difficult as the violin. So it's like when we're
Yes.
playing, we don't have to sit there and burn ourselves out playing a million notes when it only really takes a couple notes to make someone feel what you're playing. It's like with all the
Yes.
notes, sometimes people might be like confused. They'd be like, what is he playing? It's good, it's outstanding, but
Yeah.
huh? But when I
And
get
then
out
like
there, yeah, yeah,
even
when I
like
like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, like it's a couple of notes, and it
yeah,
just gets you in the field.
even like Summer Vivaldi, right? Just the beginning, bum 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 bum, and then that just gets everybody riled up. But it's so simple, but it seems so hard, and that's the thing
That's
about the music.
the hardest thing to do is play the simple stuff because
Yes.
everyone's heart, everyone lives on the front of the beat of life because we're always like trying to get to the next thing or have something fast, but no one is like, okay, let me just chill out, do something slow. And because I'm doing it slow, I can now do something different because there's space to do something different. And even space to
Yes.
be like to get crowd interaction. Like you, if you have too many notes, you can't stop and be like, "All right, clap with me now." It's like your whole phrase is gone by then. It's gone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything you want to say to the young musicians out there, especially Black people, trying to make a role in the classical music space? And yeah,
I'd say first, don't just aim for the classical space. We belong in all the spaces. You must take up space because if you don't take up space, then others will take up space. But I'd say just learn how to be versatile. Like we don't live in a day and age anymore where it's like your symphony orchestra job is going to be the only thing that pays your bills and your children's children's bills. So it's like you got to figure out innovative ways to get outside of the blocks because it's like all we learn in academia growing up really as violinists is like classical music. Like that's the standards. We do classical music and then we do multicultural music, which sometimes is still classical music, but by different composers. And that's good, but it's like the genre breaking and the genre bending and the exploration and the improvisation. Learn how to improvise. The way to learn how to improvise is by improvising. There's no way to teach yourself. There's no method to be like, okay, here's a methodology and all that stuff. It's like I've tried to make lessons plans before, but it's like the best lesson plan is like going in there and understanding who you're working with. Like if you don't know who you're working with, there's no lesson plan there's no formula for like if a child had a bad day. If he had a bad day and he comes to music class, he's not trying to hear you do Beethoven with him. He's trying to play a music that helps him express how he's feeling in order for him to have a good day at the end of the day. So it's like just thinking outside the box, just learning, exploring. We have everything at our fingertips nowadays. You can either use it for good or use it for bad. But yeah.
uh, and a lot of people don't go the route of improvising. Not a lot of people know like how to improvise, and I think that's one skill that every violinist should know. Improvise, or every musician should know how to improvise. Because what if something happens on stage? Music drops, right? Your music drops, your bow falls. Improvise. You have to. Those are just improvising in the space. You're always improvising. Like I'm like when you're having a random conversation with somebody, you're improvising. So everybody knows how to improvise. It's just how you use the improvisation.
Yeah. I've probably had everything imaginable has happened to me on stage. Like I remember I fainted the first performance. I
You,
fainted. Yeah, yeah. Each string has popped off, snapped off before twice. I had to just keep playing. One time in Norman, it's like my E string popped off, and then it's like I put on a new E string while answering questions because it's like I'm the only one giving on the concert. So it's like, what happens when there's like I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna answer a couple questions while I put on the E string, and it's like that was involving too, being able to
yeah,
answer questions while doing that, and then it's like, not having rosin or not having any sound you play or the sound being bad. It's like you have to be a performer if you're gonna be a performer, and it's like
nice.
you can't let the external factors like affect how you are coming and portraying because then it's like it changes the whole vibe in room. It's like if I'm just like at a concert and it's like I might be like real mellow tone and stuff like the audience is gonna be like that. But it's like if I'm in everybody's face, if I'm yelling, let's go
Yeah,
guys, like it, you don't get the same response.
yeah, and I do think it's better to. What was I about to say? And it's like if you're on stage performing like a soloist, you have to let's say your string pop like that. You have to be able to change real quickly with the concert master or concert mistress to get, you know, to play. And
Right.
it's all about what ifs. So you gotta always plan for the what ifs. But Michael, it was fun talking to you, Michael. It was the first ever live stream podcast I did. So this was fun.
Wow.
So now any mess ups that are there, all the arms are gonna stay, all the but it was fun. Improvisation.
Yeah. Nice.
I love doing stuff live. Well, Michael, yes, you have survived my interview. Make sure you guys check out Michael on Instagram. His Instagram is Michael Prince Violinist. He is also on YouTube, Michael Prince Violinist. You can also support the Hood Orchestra. Is it hoodorchestra.org or what is it?
Hoodorchestra.org. Yes, sir.
Okay. You can also, guys, support the hoodorchestra.org. And Michael, we just thank you one more time for coming on. You are a very good guest, and this was the most iconic guest I had yet. So isn't that fun? So thank you again, Michael.
Also, people that if they go to hoodorchestra.org and want me to come teach, all they got to do is just fill out that form, have a teacher, have an administrator fill out the form. I can come teach.
Yeah.
Then I'll go on some crazy places. Definitely want to get to Africa in the next year or so. Africa tour. That would be amazing. But yeah.
Ooh, Africa tour. I have to come on that Africa tour. Well, thank you again, Mike. Oh, you're still talking. Hold on.
I was saying, in a perfect world, Hood Orchestra would be an orchestra. Like have just take people on tour and give players opportunities to do non-classical performances in non-classical spaces. Like that's what we need out here.
or one thing that the Hood Orchestra could also do, grab random people from the crowd and just take them on a performance.
Right. There are so many people that have still played and can play, and I've done that before where it's like I'll ask, is anyone in the audience creative? And like that's a lot of pressure, and that's a big moment for people to step up. But it's like that's a good opportunity.
Improving with the orchestra,
Mm-hmm.
You bring a few people. You guys go into a concert hall, or y'all can do like a live performance where everybody can come watch, and then you just grab somebody from the crowd and just come up and play. Right. Have an extra violin or an extra whatever instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for watching, everybody. Thank you again for Michael for you joining. Make sure you guys go check out my Instagram. It's Gregg-Ham Violinist on all platforms: Instagram, Snapchat. What else do I have? TikTok. Have a lot of stuff. Just go check it out. And you guys have an amazing day. Thank you for watching this amazing podcast today.